You see the question where you say, as a ganja man, what would you say about critics of marijuana? You know, when you do English, they talk what is the subject of the sentence or the predicate and things. That is the subject. That part contains the subject. This is the first thing I want to do, make a distinction between ganja. So I'm a ganja man, I'm not a marijuana man. There's a fundamental difference. Yeah, words are not just words that people use. See? Ganja is the plant that Jamaican people say plant and smoke. One time Peter just said in an interview about ganja, I think ganja is a bird as well or something like that, so, you know, in a country like Australia. Don't quote me on that, but I think I remember something like that. Marijuana represents a Spanish name for Mary Jane. Them also use it to talk about them I call ganja and things still. When I made this distinction, in my own biased lens, ganja is a plant that emerged naturally. And I'll go into why I support it. Marijuana now can be, and the word is can, don't mean it have to be, but marijuana can be a drug. Let me tell you something, you know, people can't tell a full lie, they might put truth in it. So when the man them now we create, because them say that there's a drug war, you know, and that way Europe and American people say, you know, there's a drug war, they might fight a drug. Every time them fight a drug, they never even say the word ganja yet. Them say marijuana, man, say, but this sound like semantics, eh? Word sound is power, man. The man know exactly what they say and things still. So them fighting marijuana because marijuana is a drug. And them tell you what them do. Them put the marijuana in them lab and do all kind of things to that plant. But they want to increase the THC level or reduce the THC level, and you want to plant a plant that is only CDB or CBN or whatever. So what it says is that say you have taken the plant, which me say is ganja now, I say it's ganja. And when you bring it inside your lab, it is transformed into marijuana. And there's a subtle difference, but a very important difference. One is ital, and one is not ital. And whether it's ganja you talk about or food generally, ital food good for you, non-ital food bad for you. Ital food created primarily by aeration through any kind of pollination. It can be a cross-pollination where I'm naturally, you know, and things still, you know. Non-ital food is altered primarily by man, and we are talking now the one we put in them labs to do them often. And a lab don't have to be a big scientific place with all kind of lights and things. But me I say, just my approach towards how they might be dealing with it and things still. So I am saying to you now that every human being on this face of the earth and every other living being on the face of the earth, I will call an endocannabinoid system. When they come to the system more than 50 million years ago, it was actually developed primarily to try to deal with things like ultraviolet rays. That's why ganja is good for every kind of cancer and things still. Seeing how them things impact your structure and things. So from your head to your toe, you have the CB1 receptors and CB2 receptors primarily in your brain and your liver. And we understand what's the importance of the brain and the liver. Because the liver, you know, after things move through your kidneys, the liver you go next and say it makes sure that all toxins come out. So if your body is designed with receptors or something in that part of your system, you can see how important that part is to your bodily function. Because it detoxes your system. Now when things leave through your liver and it gone up all through your lungs and then it start go up to your brain. And the blood flow, I talk about it, I say you go through your lungs, take up oxygen, feed your brain and things. So crucial it is now. Because your brain has determined everything will go on in your entire system. And your brain is filled with CB1 and CB2 receptors. So unless creation make an error, the argument is not valid. But if they insist it's a valid argument because material say they have done something to the plant. So the plant in its original form is not a problem. But in the form that it now exists, it can be a problem. Because if you look at the ganja plant, you see, Europe and American people who are dying a lot from what they call dementia-related illnesses like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, and realize that ganja, well, let me use same language, they realize that there is an active which is called CDB that is good to treat in these things. And remember, I know that a lot of the first ganja plants that were researched came from Jamaica. You should have captured them. You didn't care anything. Alright, because ganja we are talking about, I could make an example show you. Well, anyway, ready? Well, it's good because you see helicopter does disturb the session, and that usually happens. The man use the helicopter to cut them all like ganja field. That is from a long time ago. But remember, the first the ganja plants that were researching, the sativa plants. How will? You see, how will? You see, how will fire? Howell at Pinnacle created what I call the first national agro-social enterprise, which means create a community that is mission-driven but sustained by an independent income source through business, but the business were located in agriculture. Ganja being the most valuable agriculture plant, those are the main crops being planted. However, they plant everything and sell by the market and man destroyed. Many of the plants that were destroyed and taken from Pinnacle were also sent outside of Jamaica, in places in Europe and America, till it reached all Israel. So you will realize that when they destroyed Pinnacle in 1957, it was about 8 years after that, Israel released research to show us them isolate THC from out of the ganja plant. Israel is the leading ganja research country now, you know. Even with COVID-19, Israel and Canada using ganja, research on ganja to see how it can deal with COVID-19, which makes sense, but we can talk about that next time. But from something dealing with all our olfactory senses, build your immune system is antiviral and antibacterial. It can deal with anything like COVID and things still. See? So note, the ganja research that was done, yes, the ganja research that was done by Israel in 1965 show how important ganja is. And they also found in later research that the CDB in UK, they use the CDB to treat psychosis. But I say people in Jamaica was looking at it already. Because Freddie Hicklin would have used it at the Bellevue Hospital in Jamaica for treat psychosis, because him same realize when the man them on the road I get mad. And them walk and tell the split tail. He might realize he's self-medicate, he must self-medicate. He self-medicate. Yeah. See? No, Manuel West, I read do some research when Manuel West come on fisherman and I say, oh, the man him go at night. I see all the while and I say good, I will him go there, him can't see. But then him start realize it's ganja the man must smoke. Also him start to do the research right, and that's why him come with the idea of the cancer and the asthma cell that you with glaucoma and things that relate to asthma that people have and things still. See? So there's a difference. So I'm saying to you that the plants pre-1980s, and I'm going to tell you why, it's very different from the plants post-1980s. And I try to make a connection even with the sound and the music, where I'm saying that the music of the 70s, 60s, 70s coming up, those were sativa, ganja music. But in the 1980s, another thing started to happen when drugs and alcohol and other things started to emerge. And them start to create a herb that they call indica, which is misleading. Because indica is from the word India, which is one of the places that have the most ganja plants. Remember the word ganja come from Ganges in India and Kali. The supreme consciousness, we fight down, we say death to all black and white down pressers. Just as how we say in Nayabingi. Ganja is one of the main plants used by Kali. We raise consciousness and things still. So, but them call the plant indica. I'm sure how dangerous the man is, because when you hear indica now, true we know say indica represent the one where the man them altered for grow short and fast to commercialize. It's a wrong connotation with the root word, which is India. So you have to make that distinction. But the indica plant, what they call the broadleaf, see, the broadleaf plants that absorb a lot of light, produce buds faster, those are the ones that have been tampered with. And them give them all kind of names. All kind of names them give them and things still. We show you say them potent. So note then, they created a drug which high levels of THC, but it's just like I say, it's not a next side, it's not like a regular cosmetic drug. We can just mash you up so fast. But if when the plant designed, it's designed with THC, CDB, and many other cannabinoids. The CDB, when they treat Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, it primarily deals with the nerve and reduce like anxiety and them kind of thing there, you know. You understand what I say? So essentially, the CDB is a balancer in the ganja plant. So when you smoke herb now, like you know, a long time when I say, watch when you smoke one spliff, you know, you can't burn a full of spliff, you smoke like quarter because the THC is so high. But never that induce no psychosis. Because the CDB night balance out any kind of thing that can create any form of anxiety. And so you benefit from the esoteric elements of the THC while still having the benefits of the physical part of the CDB and the other cannabinoids that exist as well in the plant. But now when you make the thing disproportionate now in terms of the CDB and the THC, it creates, so like in Canada, yes, information that comes out, a lot of the youth who using this high potency THC plant having imbalance in them system and things. But you must. Because remember, you know, if your body is designed to use a plant, and then you go alter the state of the plant, it will go assimilate in your structure fast and can create imbalances. It is a good thing that it is natural, it can rebalance the system easy, as again something which is chemical, like a chemical addiction from a cocaine and them kind of thing there still. You understand what I'm saying? But you still don't need to do that. But the truth is drug them take and have to get high. Them now try to find high, you know. Which is what ganja allow you to do, for go in yourself and find the high. They want to get high, which is outside of themselves now. Them do something to the plant for try to go outside of themselves. And so, if you tell us there's something wrong with them plant, don't run them down and say nothing wrong with it. What you have to do is make sure that you plant the plant that there is nothing wrong with. So it's why it's important to create your own seed bank and have your own techniques. You know what I say? No, ganja itself can't do nothing. Everybody design to take ganja. See? Matter of fact, there's the next active in the ganja plant, what them call CBN. You know, like a man grow herb now and don't store the herb properly. It starts to smell like ammonia and a man say a bushweed. It's because the CBN rise in it so high, it gives that smell there. My brother knows the horticulture, they make I know this thing is still. CBN is make you get hungry, you know. It's make you get hungry. So, you know, somebody who anorexic or have certain kind of thing like HIV, and they say people might be use CBN because you want to eat food. You know what I say? So, what I really like to say to people, there's nothing wrong with ganja. But one thing you must know is that ganja is a plant, and ganja and food married. So don't go plant be a ganja and don't plant no food, because you don't want food to eat, what you going to do? So you need food for your brain, with the esoteric element which ganja provides that nutrient. And you need food for your belly, which also ganja provides, because it's a ganja seed, full of linoleic and linoleic, you know, two important fatty acids, in nature fatty acids where your body don't produce a full amount. Often things still seen. I mean, there's so much things about the plant that is good, so it balance. But they must also get the other forms of food. And so this discussion about whether ganja creates problem is not just about ganja, it's about food generally. The food that you consume of which ganja is one and probably a very important food. If you don't get the proper food night, you're going to have a problem. So you need proper ganja, you need proper vegetable, you need proper fruit, you need all of those things must be well. And so use it now as a signal to say that these people are tampering with foods from a very long time. To give a virgin named Sebi who has a talk about the food and the pH and all those things. Listen to him and say. You know what I mean? See if you accept everything I say, but the truth is he might tell you some things where you need to really strong and penetrate. Because your body is truly an electrical system. Yeah? Yeah, your body is an electrical system. The book named Cave of the Ancients by Labs and Rock speak of those things as well to still. So now we alone talk about it. See, you know, you want high electrical food. And these people start to tamper with food them that break down the electrical content as well. Remember, you know, it's magnetism and electricity. So the food have a high, you know, the magnetism in our ganja. Look on the trichomes where you see. On the plant itself, I tell you something. You know? So, ganja is good.